my God, hi, I'm Jacob Granz.
And I'm Winnie Stone.
And she's pushing them tits up. And this is Come On In.
Come on in, Queens.
Queens. Wow.
Come
That's a
on
great
in,
dress.
Queens.
I love it. Is that
Come
your
on in,
Rob
snakes.
Snake get up?
Yeah, it's like I'm in the jungle. I'm catching
Jungle.
snakes. Well, no, I'm in like the bayou. Where the fuck he's from? I'm in Alabama.
He's in the bayou,
No.
yeah. Louisiana. Well, girl, U.S. education doesn't teach us that well about geography, does it now?
Kansas right now.
I know.
Very dark and scary for trans people. And if it is indicative of, anything becoming wider spread, bye.
Well, I mean, it is
Catch
Kansas.
you later.
But yes, they revoked the driver's license if your birth didn't match the gender on your driver's license, right? Your marker. All of the trans people in Kansas woke up with no driver's license or a valid driver's license.
No grace period. And
a bounty.
If they don't, bathroom bounty.
And a bathroom bounty. It's
what are they gonna,
fucking ridiculous.
What? The transvestigating. Let me pull your pants down. What? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you even get the bounty? It's insane.
They can't. It just opens up people to say whatever they think. And we know that these people will say, your color is darker than Williams and Sonoma eggshell white. You're trans. Get out of the bathroom. That's what's going to happen. That's what it's going to. So it's just like, thank God we live in Illinois.
Yeah.
But
you know what's funny that just made me think of that? I did not get misgendered when I was like, my advice to any like recently awoken trans person is to just like go for it, be you, live your best life. You couldn't tell me shit. Like I was, here she is. I don't care. I look back on me then and I'm like, okay, girl, you fucking okay. No one misgendered me though. Like it was like clearly I was presenting as a female, and so it was always she, her, no problem. I don't get misgendered, but I get reactions. Like I can tell that there's like some negative stuff. Like I get clocked, I guess, sometimes. And I'm realizing it's because like I'm so glamorous. I'm so put together that it's like makes people be like, why is that woman so done up? I think that's a tranny. Do you know what I mean? Like if I just like put my hair in a ponytail and wore a hoodie and like, minimal makeup, people probably wouldn't look twice. But because I'm like strutting down the street, it like draws attention. Like, yeah, it's wild.
And also people don't want to be deceived. Speaking of what we're talking about today.
I'm not outing you. I just wanted to show a deception.
You must be, yeah.
I'm quoting Varner when he
Fuck you.
outed Zeke.
Yeah.
I'm just trying. Wow. I'm showing a deception.
I have to get to the right place in my nose. What are we doing? Where are we? We're
in Scotland. We're in the Scottish Highlands.
Girl, are you done with that drink or are you going to continue to slurp it? We are in the Scottish Highlands now. I wore my best. Like he wore that red and yellow shirt, so this was my red and yellow. Nobody cares.
It's like kitschy, like little boy. Like
it is. Yeah, it's a little boy shirt. It's my straight shirt.
I'm a snake. I'm a snaky snake. Look at me. Look at these.
These
are gorgeous.
Snake. What are they? I can't see them. Are they snake earrings?
They're little snakes.
Oh my gosh, you're all done up.
I've been dying to wear this. It's like a bracelet that you twist around, but it's snake skin.
Oh, I love this. So we must be talking about Rob from the Traitors. Snake-covered tattooed body. Ugh.
I love, like, when it comes down to it, you're like, this man told you the whole time he was a snake. He literally has them all over his body, and he refused to wear clothes to cover them up.
And he refuses to wear a shirt. So yes, you could see he was a snake the whole time. But let's start. We had the 5 of them. Was it 5 of them? 1, 2, 3. There was 6 of them standing out. Last episode, we didn't know who was going to go home. They just had a single coffin out there, and they were like, somebody's going to go home. And I thought for sure it was going to be Maura, because I'm like, I don't know. They just kind of like focused in on her a bit.
They never really... Sorry.
No, that was it. That was my point.
I don't remember an explanation of why Mark.
Why it was Mark? They didn't.
It felt like he was the last person I was expecting, because he seemed like such a like blind follower. It just didn't seem like he was gonna Like I don't know.
You need some
Why? Hey,
explanation.
Mark.
I know. I saw some discourse online that was like, well, he was the only brain left in the group. And I'm like, was he?
Was he? There was a
I don't
brain?
see it. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was like they just knew that Maura was their best bet all the way to the end. And I think that they were just like, well, Mark's the second best to go to the end with and could potentially ruin our plan of getting there with Maura and Maura blindly following us.
And then they maybe wanted to keep Johnny and Tara to keep the suspicion on them.
Yeah, keep the
Because like the
suspicion
only
on them and
argument for them
outnumber
was
them.
like that they recruited each other or whatever.
Which
Okay.
made sense. Could happen.
I don't understand the now get in the coffin. It just
Now
was
get in
kind
the
of like
coffin in front of
pointless.
us. Yeah, it was pointless. Why?
I guess a lot of things on Traitors. It's just pointless and fun.
Yeah, now that we're talking about the difference between, now that we just did Survivor recap, the difference between the games is very clear. This one is all about the drama. It's not a lot of strategy. Like we've said that the whole time. It's kind of like you're good at lying or you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the pomp and the circumstance. Because even though it was like fairly clear, I mean, I've been writing for Rob for a long time. He was just blowing through this game, played like maybe the most impeccable Traitor game I've seen. I haven't watched many international seasons, which I hear is some pretty good gameplay. It was very different than Cerise, but it was just so clear that it was like he has a path to the end for sure. Yet we still loved it. We were still on the edge of our seats. Like there was still stuff every week. Honestly, the only kind of like episode was the one that we didn't end up covering because you were in Cold Springs.
Yes.
So I was like, okay.
That episode was
not too mad that we didn't jump
not
on.
great. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I do think that Cerise is more dynamic to watch. He, just because of who he is, and he's so unassuming and monotone, and he just becomes a little bit boring. And it was super predictable. And again, I have to say, was it just because he was with a bunch of dum-dums? Because it still makes me think that he was with a bunch of dum-dums. But I'm interested to see him come back. I still like Cerise's game more because she's just more exciting to watch.
Oh my God, Rob versus Cerise.
Rob versus Cerise. And Cerie's already out there commenting on it. I saw on social media. She's like, well, I don't know. I have to get to the end of the season to see who's the best traitor. But anyway, we have that final mission. Did they have breakfast? Who knows? Who cares?
They did. They came in one by one.
They did come in one by one. Did they?
I just remember Tara coming in by herself. I don't know.
No, that was after Johnny got sent home. So after the Mark getting sent home, I think they go right to the challenge.
That was at night. Okay. They always have breakfast.
I know, but they already knew who was going home. So don't they? Doesn't matter.
Listen, you're the one with the notes, bitch.
Well, if there was a breakfast, it was not impactful for me to remember it. I only remember the challenge with the helicopters. They had to get on a helicopter. They had to guess like previous events or things about players that had previously happened. And Johnny was there. So we hadn't gotten there.
And it was, what did, just fucking Eric. Eric was like, I want to feel like I'm a Bond, like I'm James Bond, but it's just like so awful. The water, like the cold water just pelting you in the face. And yeah, that I feel like that is potentially maybe the most miserable thing I can think of in terms of just like comfortability is cold and wet. And they're just stuff that's supposed to be like on TV, like in terms of, you know, trying to like,
yes,
I don't know,
I understand.
Function.
Right. But Maura was raring to go up into that helicopter. She wanted that thrill. Well, I think she wanted to go with Rob.
They get to also stay dry, like be in like a little shelter.
And I think that this is where the game player mind comes into play. Because if you're Tara and Johnny, you don't want the two of them up in that helicopter having a date together the whole day while they're able to strategize against you. You want to be in that helicopter with one of them or have them separated. So I think that was a missed opportunity by Johnny and Tara, but they're doing the best they can. Listen.
Yeah, they're just there to have fun.
They're there to have fun. And it is kind of interesting, but I have to think, is this true that the very last two episodes, the two of them are the ones that end up with the correct two traitors right at the end when they can't do a damn thing about it?
And do
you think that's how it happened? Or was there
Yeah.
some manipulation there? Or are they showing us like previous, like, because there's a moment where last episode, we didn't talk about this. Tara clearly says Eric, but then it cuts away from her face and she says, and also Rob. And I was like, I don't know.
I think that it was slow going for her to catch on, but then yeah, at the end they really lock in and they're like,
They really did.
this is so obvious to us. And then it turns out they're not very convincing people. It's hard for them to, what is the word I'm thinking of? Like, come on. Like she did it.
Persuasive?
Yes, they're not very persuasive in that,
Cream of
like,
wheat? Have you ever seen that clip where that woman's like, it's a kind of rice. It's a quinoa, and the girl goes, cream of wheat? So confidently. Okay, continue.
when she was trying to get Kristen on board, and Kristen was like, I think you're a traitor, bitch.
I think you're a traitor. Sorry.
Like, so, like, clearly, like, Cher's just not great at it. But also,
And also,
as
Kristen's
we learn,
frightening.
yeah. But as we learn, Maura is just completely blinded and convinced that there's no way Rob could be a traitor. To the point where, never mind, we'll get to it.
Not even a little bit. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, I do think that they had it figured out. I think that they were like, there's no other way. There's got to be two traitors left, and I believe it is these two people.
Well, kudos for them for figuring out when nobody else could figure out that it was the two of them, but they just figured it out a skosh too late because they already lost the majority by the time they figured it out, and there was no way at that point.
World.
And I kind of get it from Maura. It's like they're both on Love Island. They had this connection from the beginning. Although if you look back at the beginning, Maura says, let's like stick with each other. Rob goes, maybe. From the very first episode. So I don't know. Maybe. He wasn't even a traitor yet.
Yeah, I think that he just was convinced her. I think that I relate to Maura in that I don't think that she was digmatized by Rob. I think that she was very much like, okay. And also, I think she's like, I've been scarred by, she even says it at one point early on. She's like, every man I've ever trusted stabbed me in the back or whatever. I'm never going to trust him again.
Cheated on me.
However, she got to that next guy and was like, you're different. I can speak from experience that I also, Jacob, in the car on the way home from that date, I said, just a few tips for the future. Don't call a girl babe. You don't know her. Don't call me baby. You don't know me. And don't say things like, I'll take you to this like exotic location. That's red flaggy. That's like red flag. He was giving me red flags. And instead of me taking them, I was saying, word of advice. Okay, Maura.
Yeah, I mean, he built this world for her by gaslighting her and just
lying convincingly.
Yeah, and lying convincingly. And we'll get to her comment at the end, which I thought was hilarious. But like, and I get it too. It's like, I don't think she was stigmatized. She's a hot commodity. And so I think that she could do as good or better than Rob. However, he built this world in which there was no other alternative than the two of them being faithfuls and Johnny and Tara being traitors. And that was the way that the game had to end. Now she sneaks in the Eric thing, maybe because she didn't think Tara was a traitor. But
well, here's something we learned this week. Maura never watched a single episode of Traitors before going on the show.
Correct.
Not a single one.
Monet went on Las Culturistas and said that Maura had not seen a single episode. And when they said at the end of Banishing the first night, she was like, is this going to happen every night? Welcome to the Traitors, girl.
Yeah, like I can see somebody getting cast, not having seen it, maybe not even like seeing it until like they're in sequester before filming. But at least like, and not understanding the strategy of it or anything, but at least like watching some episodes. She didn't even watch it. She just knew, you're telling me I need to bring like couture? Done. Call up my designer friends. She had no idea what she was doing. And so the only thing she knew, she was like, it doesn't matter if I know what I'm doing, as long as I can have trust in this one person that I should absolutely be able to have trust in because we're from the same show. We have this like previous relationship. Like I think they knew each other, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had met probably once, at least. Yeah. Some way through
like
Love
she
Island.
Was like, as long as I can like lean on this guy that's being so open and honest with me, there's no problem.
Yeah, and who's feeding me the strategy. And thinking back on it, remember there was that round table. Was it? It was whenever after Colton was murdered. Oh, it was at breakfast after Colton was murdered, and Maura said that's a big hit to us because I think that he was also a faithful that was like playing the game and had some strategy to him, even though we didn't like the way that he was doing it. So she was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and then the rest of the faithfuls, they sort of didn't have that. So Colton was a big loss to them,
Yeah.
not to us as viewers, but
Sweet
to
Maura.
them as the dumb faithfuls.
Okay, what happens
All
next?
right, well, let's happens next. So we don't have to. We have to talk about the challenge anymore. Rob and Maura are up in the helicopter. They basically had to make guesses about something that happened in the game and guess who said that or did it. And then at the end, they could win some extra money by one of them jumping out a short distance into the loch.
I will say though, when you see like a high board or something, you're like, that's not
Yeah,
that high.
it's not that
But
high.
you're up there and it's like, oh my God. Rob would have been game from triple that height. He just would have
Yes.
maybe been like, am I gonna break my legs? But I would have too. Oh my God. I just don't have the means for all these things, but like uh if somebody was like, do you want to go jump out of a plane? Do you want to go I don't know, snowboarding in the Swedish glaciers? I don't know. I would be like, yeah, like let's do it. Like I'm not an adrenaline junkie or anything, but like
I
I
am.
also I want to be like no fear, you know?
Yeah. I want to be adventurous. I would do it for sure. But even when we went and we were in Puerto Vallarta, and there was like the cliff jumping, and you do look at it and you're like, it's fine. And then you get up there and you're like, what have I done?
Am
I
I
have to
going to
jump.
break
Yeah.
bones when I hit this? I'll never forget. I think it was like Malcolm in the Middle. They're like on vacation, they're skiing, and Lois goes like on a thing and she ends up water skiing and she ends up like crashing into the water and then like the neck it cuts to her like in like a full body cast or whatever. And I was like, but like water breaks your fall. My dad was like, if you hit it like at a velocity or from too high, it's like hitting cement. And I was like, what? It was so confusing to me because it just felt like no water like is like this soft like cushy thing that like catches you and it's like no
No,
girl.
it's not. When I was wakeboarding, I water skied and wakeboarded when growing up, and there was one time when I hit the water so hard from falling and wakeboarding that it knocked the breath out of me, and it scared the shit out of me because it like, and then you're in the water, and yeah, it just is kind of a freaky thing. So
No,
jumps out,
I've since learned by experience that water hurts, can hurt.
jumps out and gets that 20 grand. Rob did, and ends up with a prize pot of I think $220,000, which I think they need to increase the pot.
Late stage capitalism for like the prize pots for things to still be so low. When it's like these days it's people are just becoming billionaires left and right.
Right.
They're just like, it's still $1 million, which is $400,000 after taxes. So it's like,
Yep,
okay,
we got
come
that
on now.
cash or that bonus. No, it's not probably a bonus. It's a gift tax, 40%. Jesus Christ. So after taxes, 40%
That's
tax. Yeah.
after taxes, more 40%.
No, 40% bonus or gift tax, I believe.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. So yeah, it's nothing. He's got $1.50 after taxes, which is fine, but it's not life changing. Good God, he can not
No,
work for a year
certainly wouldn't want to split that with anybody.
or
We'll get
buy
to
a
that.
Birkin bag. Which I'm just gonna say that I had no idea that a Birkin bag was that much. I'm a bad gay. I don't even know what a Birkin bag is, to be honest with you.
I watched a whole video on it and it is insane. Like
On
the
Birkin
whole
bags,
process. Yeah. The whole Hermes bag buying situation is insane. You have to build a relationship with a salesperson that during which you buy other things that add up to like tens of thousands of then you have like a wish list of like I would like this type of bag and this like color whatever and then any random day the salesperson could be like we have a bag for you if you'd like to come in and it's like here is this bag that is different from the one you wanted in a different color and a different material and you still need to pay $20,000 It's insanity for a fucking bag.
For a
That then
bag.
you're going to be like, I don't want to take anywhere. Basically spent like
Right.
$100,000 on this. Like, it's just going to sit. It's just so fucking dumb.
It's crazy to me. I don't understand that world. After we go into the round table, and so this we've got our timeline right. This is the Johnny Weir banishment. So round table happens, and we're like kind of led to believe. I mean, Tara seems convincing, and Maura keeps on being like, "Yes, I totally agree. I'm with you." So there was some like moments where I was like, Maura's gonna figure it out, but I don't think we had the
This is the
edits
time
that would have
number
paid
one.
off. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the edits to say that Maura at any point in this game would have put this together, but we still were like,
No,
maybe she will.
This was the first one of the night where, because we had a room full of gays,
I'm room full of gays.
where we all were doing the thing where you hold your hand in front of, so you can't see the closed captioning, so you don't get things ruined for you. And we were all sitting in the room doing that, just being like, come on, Maura, come through. Because she's the tiebreaker for every vote in this episode.
I'm laughing because it's my deaf little boyfriend that needs those closed captioning.
I mean, honestly, we all. If it's if a thing doesn't have closed captioning, I'm like, I can't hear it. The volume is turned up all the way, and I'm still like, I can't hear it because I can't read it.
I have to pause for a
it.
second because it's one of the things that we just talked about in the Survivor episode, that the noise thing. The other thing that sometimes annoys me is that before I'm done speaking or uttering a sentence, Jeremy will be like, huh? I'm like, I haven't even gotten the thought out for you to say, huh? Like, and so then going to Palm Springs, love his family to death. But then they all do that, so you get about
me shuffling around in the background like an old man.
So then you get 20 huh? Hi, baby.
Come vacuum something for us.
No, not at all. I stink. I have BO, so that's great.
That's so sweet. You're like your old grandpa little twink.
Oh, he's so cute. Anyway.
Aging's fun.
Back to the banishment. Johnny Weir, we did think that he could potentially hang on, but it was his time to go. Goodbye, Johnny.
It was, in this last episode, you don't get the I'm a faithful, I'm a traitor, so you don't get the payoff. He just literally skips away, which sucks so bad.
It was so cute, though. He scurried.
I just wanted to see that moment of him, because he was crushed, and for him to be like, I'm a faithful, you fucking idiots. And to see Maura be like, because that's the thing, is if he would have been able to say, I'm a faithful, I think she may have put it together, which is what they're trying to avoid in the last episode. Trying to avoid. So I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we all screamed.
Yes. And had about 5 different people saying, what happens if there's a tie now? Because we're down to 4, Rob, Eric, Maura, and Tara. And now at this point, we're yet again thinking Maura's going to put it together, because Maura's starting to have some suspicion on Eric, at least. And Tara's in her head, and she's on board with Eric, and she's starting to mention Eric has to go.
Yeah. Yep. In that case, I think Rob either said absolutely nothing, because he probably learned at that point that like Maura's gonna like dig her own grave, but also his argument of he knew it was beneficial to him to keep the Eric vote out to the last, because then he could maintain that majority. So I don't know what he said, but yeah, we didn't really get any sort of strategy from that.
No.
Right?
I don't think so, but I do agree with you that he knows at least that it has to be the 3 of them at the end, and there can't be any other option for them to get overpowered by the numbers. So he's got to keep Eric at least to the final 3. And I think that he solidifies that with her. And again, she's just like, okay, because he's playing chess and she doesn't know what game she's playing. She's playing get dressed up, doll, Barbie. That sounds sexist. I shouldn't say that.
Well, that's it. Like, when anyone is trying to say that like Maura was digmatized or like in love with Rob, I believe him when he says, I want a quiet life on the farm, skipping rocks on the crick.
On the crick?
Maura don't want that. Maura wants high fashion. Maura wants
that's the last
beauty and glam and lights, and more power to her. So I don't think that is sexist to say. I think she is a hot bitch.
Yeah, no, I even saw her post that this morning, so it's not sexist.
What did she say?
She was saying that I was playing dress up and getting glamorous, and that's what I was doing. So I don't know what the rest of you were doing, but
the edit was still in this last episode where it ended up being so clear and cut and dry, we still were like, maybe she's going to get it. Maybe
Maybe
this
she's
is
going to
going to
get
happen.
it. Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is
Yeah.
time. But after the banishment, we go to the Fire of Truth, really, because it's down to the 4 of them. I do want to say there was one other moment in the helicopter when Maura goes, I need a hot bath, and Rob goes, I'll give you something hot. So he was also flirting with her.
Well, yeah, on the
which
reunion
might
when
be
they're
effective.
like flirting, and she was like, no. And he was like, I think there was some flirting. And
I
she was
think
like,
there was some
was
flirting.
there?
But again, I don't think that I agree with you. I don't think that Rob is probably her cup of tea. I don't think she's into it.
No, I don't.
He's
no.
hot, but that's.
I think she was convinced through sheer like friendship and a bond of like,
and the Love Island
we've
thing,
got
yes.
this. We got Love Island. Like, I don't think it was because like maybe we'll be able to date afterwards or something like.
No, I don't think that that's true.
Yucky.
Yeah, so we go into the Fire of Truth. By the way, go take a look at Eric Nam's Instagram. His new song is a bop.
Is it?
Yeah. And
send it to me when it's on Spotify.
It seems like Maura might be in the music video. He gave a little teaser of that today. I'm like, cute. So the remaining players, we know that this is a part that they have to either continue to banish or just stop the game if they all think they're faithfuls. I did find it interesting they didn't do this outside. I thought it took a little bit of the drama out of it. They did it
we
inside.
Assumed because it was still storming, but then he brings Rob out in the end for the fireworks and shit. So yeah. I don't get it.
I don't know, unless it lasted for several hours and then it cleared up.
Yeah.
Could have happened.
That's sort of like what happens behind the scenes there is everything takes a million years.
Yeah.
And the queens are standing on stage for 12 hours in their heels. We get it.
We get it. We get it loud and clear. But not a surprise, all 4 of them want to banish. So they all 4 go around. I almost called him Andy again. Alan, hour 2, I'm starting to fade, girl. Alan throws the things in. All 4 of them are red. We got to vote. And again, we're like, if it's a tie, what happens? Because we don't know. The rules of this game are very opaque. If there's a tie, what do they do? Has that ever happened? I can't remember.
What? We still don't know. What the fuck?
We still don't know because it didn't tie. Alan, text them now. You've got several people to text.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. Talk to her about that boomerang fucking advantage. We need to know. But anyway, so all 4 of them. And no surprise, well, a little bit surprised that Maura still gets Tara out. But before this, we have to say...
We screamed because we thought for sure she was
For sure. Yeah. We thought for sure. But before this is when the pinky promise happened in the kitchen. So this is when I think Rob... there's so many points when he won the game, but he kept on like having every moment he had another strategy to win the game, and he again won the game when he got Maura to agree to get Tara out and then take Eric out after that, because Maura's like, no, but Eric has to go too, but he finagled it to say, okay, but we first got to get out the duo, and then we'll get Eric out. This man. And he was playing chess with his queen.
Uh-huh.
And she's the queen.
So they do it, get Tara out.
Pinky promise. That's the pinky promise.
You pinky promised me. And then so they go around again, and Eric's like, here we go. We're gonna get Maura out, or we're gonna keep it. We're gonna stay, and then Maura's gonna lose, and we're gonna split the money, and it's amazing. Yeah. Bros for a life. And then Maura throws a red flame, and then Rob throws a red flame, and he is.
I love your narration of this. You're like, and then Rob throws a flame. So funny. Honestly, though, if we think about it, would it have been satisfying if Eric would have been a win at all? Like, no. If Rob and Eric would have won it together, it's like Rob did all the work.
Yes, Eric just showed up. The fact that Eric was so flabbergasted, he was so shocked. It's like, girl, you've been a traitor for a day and a half.
Yeah.
You have had allegiance to Rob for a week. Why would this man who has been a traitor the whole time, which you know because you became a traitor and he told you all that.
Who took out 2 other traitors.
Is going to keep you to split this very minuscule prize pot. Why would you have... Tamar, have you seen the show?
Now, can you explain that reference? You've said it a couple times. Is that from the Braxton thing?
It's Tamar Braxton was a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, and Alexis Michelle was green during the roast, and Tamar was like, I just didn't get the green thing because it was the roast of Michelle. And Alexis thought she was very clever because she was going to paint herself green because that's Michelle's
Oh, okay.
least favorite color. Michelle hates green.
Yes.
And so she was like, I didn't get it. And Alexis was like, it's Michelle hates the color green. Do you even watch the show, Tamar? And it was like, and Tamar was like, yeah, I do. I get why you did it. I didn't get why it was funny, why it worked. It didn't work. But it was just like, it was so very Alexis
That's
Michelle
funny.
to be like, have you even seen the
Yes,
show,
very
Tamar?
much. Were you with us when we ran into her at Beatniks in Lakeview, Boys Town?
No, but I think I heard
Oh my
the
god,
story.
it was before we went to Shania Twain.
Wasn't there poppers involved?
They were doing pop. No, they were smoking weed. They were smoking weed or doing edibles or something, and they were gonna do something. We're like, you should come see Shania Twain with us. They didn't, and it was after the night that she got eliminated in whatever season it was that she got eliminated.
Well, that would make sense why they're at Roscoe's, because that's like the tell. It's like, oh, if the queen's at Roscoe's, she'll probably get eliminated this week. Anyway, Eric was shocked. It was so funny.
You're cracking me up for no apparent reason. You're
well,
like,
she's like 2 of these down.
You're like 2 energy drinks in, and we're like, okay, yes, Eric was shocked. Why was he shocked? We don't know. He would have not been a great winner. I listened to Arhap, and Puya said that it would have been somewhat interesting to see him win because it would be like, this is the worst traitor who's ever won. But I'm like, I don't think that would be interesting. I think that it would take away from it. Like, we want somebody with skill to win the game. So I'm glad that it ended that way.
Yeah, it would only be because if we hadn't seen Maura like on to Eric for a few days now, if she like wasn't on to Eric at all and was like, I'm gonna take my power back and I'm gonna get Rob out at the last minute. She gets Rob out, thinks that her and Eric are faithfuls and gonna split the money, and then turns out Eric is a recruited traitor and he takes the money. That would have been how he got there, and it would have been pretty funny. I was game for anything to happen in the finale. I thought it would have been great if the duo of Tara and Johnny cinched it after Tara's whole story arc of like having no idea what was going on. Even more so if Maura was the fucking winner, and
that would have been funny.
She just I've never watched an episode. I think I won. If Rob got absolutely like beat by Eric, would have been so funny, but Rob fucking winning was immaculate and beautiful and amazing, and go Snakes. So let's talk about that moment where
so let's talk about it. So yeah, I agree with you. I did
two.
Even when it got to the end there, I was like, Johnny and Tara, okay, that would be an interesting win in the sense that I love that Tara said in ice skating, you're all practice, and then at the very end you come up and you have to be great and perfect and whatever. So she kind of has like a under pressure able to work and comes up at the end. So I thought that was interesting. But the biggest payoff was definitely for Rob to tell Maura that he's a traitor.
And before that,
the face crack.
When for Maura was to tell him to say first whether she was a traitor or faithful. And even up to that very moment, she was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm faithful. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. How funny was that? That you like thought I was going to say I was a traitor. Oh my God. That's so funny because clearly we're both faithfuls and this is just us having fun at the end.
Yes. And that tells you how convinced she was up to that moment, right?
It was like, it became sad a little bit.
It became sad. It did. I agree with you. I told you I felt bad for her at that point because, but I will say, we said it like at the beginning of the season, her facial reactions make good TV. She just, like, you could sit there and just be like, you know what I mean? But she was like, the drama she brought to her facial expressions were so good.
Yeah. She's a peach.
She is.
So then Rob is like reacting in like a like, I'm kind of laughing because it's funny that you just like tried to pull that, but also I have this like really terrible thing I'm about to tell you, and I'm a traitor. And the thing is, he played this great game, and he sliced him and diced him and left him for dead. But he genuinely, I believed him when he was like, I don't like this. It makes me feel bad. Lying is not like the thing I love to do. Like, I don't think that he wanted to crush Maura in that way, but he did.
He just knew that he could.
She was a crush.
She was crushed, but I do think that two things. We love the comment of like, but you pinky promised, because it's like
we just erupted.
Like, that is so inconsequential. A pinky promise, that was big to her, the pinky promise. But then
not you swore on your mother,
right?
You said you made all these like elaborate promises on our friendship, but we pinky promised.
We pinky promised. That was a Jamaican accent. The second part we laughed at, you're never going to get a girlfriend. You're such a good liar.
You're never going to get a girlfriend after this.
Yeah, that was cutting, because it's like kind of true. But I agree with you. Like, nobody in those types of games, he does not act this way in his regular life. Like, this is not how somebody can act without making horrible enemies and not being able to keep friends if you act like this in your regular life. It's kind of like Parvati, which she got pegged as being manipulative and being a man-eater. Like, she's not like that in life, but she got that persona. Like, she can be that way in the game.
Just people are stupid. Yeah. People are dumb, and they don't understand that there's edits. They don't understand that they're like reality shows create characters. People play into the character so that they can get further in the game or screen time, whatever. And so these people come up to these players on the street afterwards, and they're like, "You're a fucking filthy piece of shit, garbage person. I can't believe you would do that and you would lie like that." Like, people are just fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Eggs, I know you agree.
Eggs does agree, but I do, when they cut to Maura, sorry, are we putting you to sleep over there, girl? When they cut to Maura with the sad music and her saying she's dumb, I don't ever want anybody to ever think that they're dumb. Like, to say that out loud, to say, I'm so dumb. Maybe she's gullible, but we knew, and it wasn't just her. The whole castle was deceived by him. So I don't think that it should be like, Maura, you're so dumb. Nobody caught on to him, except like Johnny and Tara at the very end, and they had no other options.
Right. Sidebar, when I was in Michigan visiting my girlfriends and their little daughters, one being 5, the amount of times where I was caught in the act of being like, I'm an idiot, or I'm so stupid, because they would be like, we don't say that about ourselves.
We don't
because
talk
there's
about
an impressionable
like
young
that.
girl here, and we're trying to get her not to do that. And the amount of times that happened, I was like, how often am I saying this? Shit. Like, I don't even think that about myself. It's just like this habit of like, in the moment, you're like, fucking idiot. No, Maura, you're not.
No, she's not. And she's gorgeous. That dress and the gloves and the way that she was holding her hands up on her face like this with the gloves, it was just striking. Everything about it was so striking.
And I don't know if we saw it. It must have just been the flicker of the light. But when she walked out and we saw the flowing latex of the gown behind her, we all gasped. It was beautiful.
Look at her. Look at her. You want to come up here and talk to us for a bit? Hi, baby. She's like, don't you dare fuck with me. But yeah, anyway, what a moment. I mean, I really do think that the payoff of a traitor winning is bigger than a faithful winning. Now, we had that win last season where we had 2 people that were dragged to the end, where I kind of wish it would have been Dylan and Gabby who won.
Yes, no, the other ones were like, ugh,
the other ones were
great.
Kind of
yay, Ivar.
Shitty.
You get to split your $50,000 prize pot with him.
Right. And so this was a very good payoff for a great season. And also, like, it dipped. I do still think that there's like a mid to late game problem with the Traitors, because the finale is always kind of exciting, but those episodes where you get the big people out and then it's just the leftovers, kind of boring. Like last week's episode, like you said, I'm glad we kept that one, because we would have nothing to talk about.
In the end, though, I realized I did have plenty of opinions, and we would have been able to fill an hour for sure. Just simply alone by Natalie being like, don't fucking say you're sorry.
Oh,
don't,
yeah,
Johnny.
Yeah.
I
Natalie the
love that
Queen. I
so
did
much.
too. Don't say. And I think that she just like Natalie at the end. She was just like, I'm gonna fuck the faithfuls over. Like I'm not gonna give them anything else. I want the traitors to win at this point. And she said that in her exit interviews. She wanted the traitors to win because the faithfuls didn't deserve it.
No, they didn't. So my friends Jeremy and Nick have been watching the international seasons, and they
Which
have
ones?
found like all of them.
Just all of them? Okay.
UK, US, Australia, not US. Well, yeah, US.
Boy, I don't know if I can stomach watching that many seasons of this show, but go ahead.
Well, they're like in the UK, they're sitting around the table and are like, well, I think perhaps maybe that because you had said, and then in Australia, they're like, this person told me today that you said, and they just like go cutthroat. So they watched one season knowing who won the Celebrity UK, and they enjoyed it. They liked it a lot. And then they watched one other season not knowing who won, and they were like, and then they watched all the other seasons Googling who the winner was, because they decided that watching the season knowing who wins in the end is so much more fun than
Really?
They were like,
interesting.
Not knowing who wins gives you that 2 minutes, 90 seconds of excitement at the end of like, oh, will they or won't they? It's just so much more rewarding to watch the person who's winning play their way through the game. And I thought that was interesting because that has happened to me on like seasons of Survivor when I had went back and watched some of those seasons I missed, like during college. Sometimes I knew who the winner was. And yeah, it's an interesting, now that we have all these like backlogged seasons of things that we haven't seen that we know that we might enjoy to watch. It's like, do we want to know who the winner is watching it? We kind of knew who the winner was this time, even though we watched it live with the whole world. And it was still exciting. It was pretty fun.
I don't think I ever want to know who the winner is. Like when I went and rewatched seasons of Survivor, and it had been long enough that I forgot who the winner was. It had literally been 10 years since I watched some of these seasons. I didn't even Google it the entire time. I just really wanted to be surprised by the winner. But I agree that even sometimes it was unavoidable to know who the winner is, and rewatching it to see how it played out is also fun.
I think I'm with you. I think I would rather not know.
I would rather not know.
But it's also not going to, if I just happen to know because it was unavoidable or whatever, I think there's still much enjoyment to be had.
I think so too. Well, it's a good season. Do you have anything to say about the reunion? I'm not a big fan of the reunions. I don't think you are either. It's our show. We can do whatever we want. But I think
like, do we need to watch the rest of the reunion? And you were like, no.
Because I think that it's such a Housewives thing. Like, and I'm not, if I was a Housewives fan, I'm not anymore, because I think it's manufactured drama. It's very performative. And that I think that that's what this was. It's like, this is a game of manipulation. We don't need to come and like call each other out on that. That's what the game is. Like, it just seems so manufactured. Candace sitting there being like, I thought Colton was cheating, or like, it just seemed like it was so manufactured.
Well, and like one of the only interesting things that we saw before everyone was like, well, we got to go home.
Yeah, it was already 10 p.m.
Was Colton being like, listen, I'm the victim here.
Listen, I'm always the victim.
Like, okay, I could have done without seeing that.
I don't know how this works.
If someone launches themselves over a couch to get at somebody, yeah, I want to know that. I want to see that. But if they're just all just sitting around talking, Portia taking up so much time, it's like, girl, you went out first. Shut up.
I know that's why she was taking up so much time. That's her strategy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't care about the finale. Did something good happen? Comment below, please. Tell us, because I'll never know.
Tell us.
I don't do TikTok. I don't do,
It was sad again. I think again, Maura was like embarrassed to watch it. And I guess I would be too. But the thing is that like people calling her dumb online or whatever, the outcome. Like I do think it would be somewhat interesting to not know if Rob was a traitor, to not know the traitors. I think it would be annoying too. But what if we didn't know the traitors the entire time and we found out at the same time? What would that be like, you know?
I think on a season where the traitor wins, it might be pretty exciting. I think a season that the traitor doesn't win would suck.
Mm-hmm.
But I think ultimately, that is the point of the show. That's what the show is. If you don't know who the traitors are, it's not a show.
Yeah,
it's just a game
it is
of
the show.
A bunch of people pointing fingers, and it's not very fun because you don't know who's actually like could like get like, oh my God, it could get banned. They could banish this traitor. If you don't know, you're just like, okay, on to the next. I don't know. Who cares?
I'm going to go back and watch the season of The Mole with Stephanie and Suri. Weren't they on the same season of The Mole? I don't know.
Suri was on The Mole?
Yeah.
The Netflix one? I think you're wrong. You're talking about Snake in the Grass.
Snake in the Grass. That
one
they don't know
one
either.
Episode thing. Yeah, you don't know, but it's just one episode. It's like everything takes place in like the one episode.
Okay, so Stephanie LaGrossa was not in The Mole either.
I don't think they've ever done.
Okay, well, I'm gonna watch a season of The Mole.
I do love
because they
love
don't
The Mole.
tell you who it is,
yes,
right?
You do not know.
Okay.
Which is exciting. So I don't know.
I agree with you. This show is not that. This show is all about showing how the interactions progress.
The Traitors.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know if the secret traitor landed, but I would be interested in the secret traitor thing again, if they maybe even extended it a little bit.
As long as we know who most of the traitors are.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. The other traitors didn't know who the secret traitor was either.
Yes.
So, like, that was also exciting. If it was, yes, it's a very fine line. I was happy that we found out who the secret traitor was by the 3rd episode. If it would have went on longer than that, it might have been annoying, but might have not been. I guess we'll see in the 35 seasons of Traitors we will have ongoing, because got to wring that towel. Wring it dry.
Yes, they have to wring it dry. And
Every
I did see
drip.
they've got a lot of endorsements. I did see a Sonic commercial with Lisa and Rob that was hilarious. It was really good.
Really?
Check that out. Check Eric Num's new single out. I don't know what the name it is, but it's a bop. And, you know, I mean, this show produces a lot of extra content at the end. So it doesn't really matter, I guess, if you win that money. You got the endorsements. What's next for Rob, do you think? Dancing with the Stars? That seems like the pipeline. Traitors to Dancing with the Stars.
I think he's going to milk this for maybe like a few more reality show appearances. And then I do believe that he just wants to like get married, have kids, have a quiet life.
He has a girlfriend now.
Win his money, get his endorsements, do his shit, make that money when you can, and then just go catch snakes.
Yeah, go catch snakes with his 2-month girlfriend. I saw her. She looks young, but he's young, and age is deceiving. All right, well, what a season. We're going to be recapping the pedestrian, fully pedestrian, because they did a preview that's the next season coming out in the next few months, probably. No, they haven't even cast it yet. I don't.
Yeah, because wasn't it like we're doing this season, so we're casting? Because this is the thing about the Traitors: you can film tomorrow and turn it out next week. Like
that's
they
2
can
weeks.
literally be like, we haven't cast yet. Let's cast next week. Get filming the week after that. Put it on TV 2 weeks after that. So that's exciting.
Didn't seem like you were very excited about that. So that's exciting.
One of our friends to go on. I don't know. I want to like have a stake in it, you know?
Anything else you want to talk about? We made it through, but the Birkin bag came up again at the reunion. And it's like, that's where that came up, that it was $10,000. And I'm like, no, he's not going to give you a cut of his money. That's a big cut.
Yeah, that's a huge cut.
Maybe he will. Who knows? But because he's getting
take
the
her out to a
endorsement.
nice dinner, and that's about it.
Exactly. And she looked great. Didn't she she got best dressed? I think so.
Who else could have taken that cake?
Lisa.
Was that something that was that something that happened in the finale? I don't know.
It did. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it online. I love that we're just like, we don't care about the finale, but I do think that's not a reality competition thing. When it gets to the finale or the reunion, which they don't have anymore, but when the reunions for Survivor, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I just turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not listening to our coverage of Survivor, which we just did, tune on in. We're going to recap season 50. Landmark season. It's kicking off good. We loved it. We just talked about it.
Stick with us. And like, I love that. Just thinking back on our like themed episodes and stuff, like the fact that we're like, we need to recap. Like, thanks Sean for like pointing that out.
Thanks Sean Ross. Thank you, Sean.
People want to see recaps. People like that.
But it's also like, we would have run out of content. Like, we were sort of like stretching for ideas. Let's do an episode about cults. But I liked our episode, and it's great. Go listen to it. But yeah, I mean, I think that it was probably a smart move to switch to recaps because there's something to talk.
Yeah. And I have a lot of opinions. So
she got to get those opinions out, especially if you turn your blinker on too soon.
I'm like, Balmoral isn't
Where
like
are
3
you
blocks
going?
away. Why do you have your blinker on, you fucking idiot?
Just talked about calling people idiots, and then you just did.
No, you don't call yourself idiots. You can call
other people. Okay, great.
Yeah. All right.
All
Until
right.
next time.
Comment,
I love you.
subscribe.
Jacobian.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Jacobeth.
This is when the music comes in. Bye.